Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to feature the all-new 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross. The model I'm going to feature is the 1.8 liter G-Spec. So let's talk about the specs of the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross in Malaysia. In Malaysia, you have total of two variants of the Toyota Corolla Cross. This model right here is the base model 1.8 liter G, which retails at 124,000 ringgit Malaysia. There's also a more higher spec variant, the 1.8 liter V, which are 10,000 top up from the 1.8 liter G, which is 134,000 ringgit Malaysia. Okay, now let's start from the engine bay first. So the engine of this Corolla Cross is carried over from the Toyota Corolla Altis Sedan, which is a set of 1.8 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder petrol engine. For Malaysian market, it does not get the hybrid engine option as the Thailand market and the Indonesian market. So the 1.8 liter engine for this Corolla Cross produces 139 horsepower and 172 Newton meters of torque. Transmission is the same CVT Automatic with virtual 7-speed, which you found in the Corolla Sedan. Okay, now let's check out the exterior of the 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross. So let's start from the headlights. So this being the base model of the Toyota Corolla Cross, the 1.8 liter G, as you can see, you does not get the bi-LED headlights which are present in the higher spec, the 1.8 liter V. Instead, for the 1.8 liter G, the base model, you only get the halogen projector headlights and the halogen daytime running light. If you get the 1.8 liter V spec, you get the LED daytime running light as well as the bi-LED headlights. With auto high beam only offers in the 1.8 liter V. So as for the front, so even though the nameplate says Corolla Cross, but the overall exterior design reminds me of the big brother, the Toyota RAV4. As you can see, this design characteristic which reminds me of the Toyota RAV4. As you can see, this mixture of some silver garnishing and some patterns of the grille makes the Corolla Cross look pretty elegant as well as pretty sporty. And as you notice right here, the Toyota badge right here, these are not laminated, so that means the 1.8 liter G for the Corolla Cross does not come with the Toyota safety sense as the 1.8 liter V does. So the Toyota safety sense for the Corolla Cross comprises of the adaptive cruise control from 30 km per hour to 180 km per hour. So it does not come with a stop and go function. And for the 1.8 liter V, you get two monocular camera right here, which double as the autonomous emergency braking with the lane trace assist, lane departure warning, auto high beams. These all Toyota safety sense only offers in the 1.8 liter V. But for the 1.8 liter G, you still get a 360 degree camera, which are pretty nice. Even though it sticks out right here, but it looks pretty good as well. And surprisingly, for the fog lights are finished in LED. As you can see, it's a pretty nice color. So for the Corolla Cross, the pearl white is, you need to top up a couple of hundred ringgit to get the color. Instead, for this color, you will no need to top up extra. And for the rims, this being a base model, the 1.8 liter G gets a smaller rim measured in 17 inch. It's finished in 215/60 R17. The rims are also not finished in dual tone. Instead, for the 1.8 liter V, it's finished in 18 inch dual tone rim measured in 225/50. One thing Corolla Cross is ahead from its competitor is it offers front and rear disc brake instead of the competitor of the B segment crossover, which only offers rear drum brakes. So this is the advantage of the Toyota Corolla Cross. And for the suspension, because this is based on the TNGA-C platform, the front comprises of McPherson struts, and the rear, for the Corolla Altis Sedan, for the TNGA-C platform, the rear are finished in double wishbone. But for the Corolla Cross, because they need to maximize the interior space as well as the manufacturing cost, The rear are replaced with the torsion beam setup. But even with the torsion beam, the ride comfort and the ride quality of the Corolla Cross are also pretty good. And as you can see, you get the LED signal indicators integrated at the side mirrors. And as you can see, the side mirrors are mounted on the door instead of the A-pillar, so that means the visibility for the Corolla Cross is excellent. And you do get a 360-degree camera, and this is the side camera. And one notable feature is the A-pillar of the Corolla Cross is slightly slimmer compared to the Corolla sedan, so it gives you a better visibility and reduce the blind spot of the car. So it gets keyless entry for the both front door, which are the sensor type. You press to lock, you put your hand behind to unlock the car. And one notable feature that most car reviewers never mention is, as you can see, if you open the door, this plastic cladding is covered until the bottom part of the car, which means when you are going through some puddle, the mud will stick on this plastic cladding instead of the car right here. So when you get down from the car, your paints won't get dirty. As you can see, this plastic wraps the whole car. As you can see, this is the anti-scratch material to make the car look more rugged. As you can see, the wheel well. And as you can see, you get a chrome strip running from the A-pillar to the back with the Corolla Cross wording. It's been a while since I see the rather massive fuel cap. So you get a shark fin antenna. Moving to the taillights. The taillights reminds me on the Toyota RAV4 rather than the Corolla sedan. As you can see, this being a G-spec, you get the LED combination taillights instead of the 1.8 liter V gets the full LED headlights. As you can see, Toyota makes some design feature by offering these black bits to make the taillight look more high quality and some aerodynamic fins at the sides. So this is the overall rear profile of the Corolla Cross. It's pretty simple, and you get the Corolla and the Cross name at the center. Right here, this is the variant, the 1.8 liter G-spec, and it does come with the reverse sensor. As you can see, the power tailgate. So this part right here is finished in body color. If you bought the white color, this part right here will be painted in white, and with some plastic claddings to make the car look more rugged. Okay, now let's check out the interior of the Toyota Corolla Cross. So as I mentioned earlier, this Corolla Cross does come with a keyless entry and keyless start standard across the range. So you press this indentation to lock the car. To unlock, just tap your hand behind the door handle like you would in the Corolla sedan. So now start from the seats. So surprisingly, for the Toyota Cross, being the base model, you still get electronic adjustment seat. For the driver's side, the passenger side still finished in manual adjustment. And the seat upholstery are finished in pretty comfortable leather. So now let's step inside the car. Let's close the door for a while. Pretty solid door, like you expect in any Toyota Cross. The doors are pretty solid. So now let's start from the interior trims right here. So right here you get some rather soft touch leather material, but it's not as plush as the Corolla Altis sedan, but it's also wrapped in a pretty soft touch leather. And one thing good about most Toyota vehicles does come with the automatic window for all direction. As you can see, even the rear passenger window does come with automatic function in both directions. So here's your window lock, your central locking. This is your window lock, your power folding side mirrors with automatic function whereby you lock the car, the side mirrors will automatic fold in. And this is your side mirror adjustments. And down here you get the manual headlight leveling as well as the power tailgate activation. So here's the interior look of the Toyota Corolla Cross. pretty familiar interior because these are carried over from the Corolla Altis sedan. But the main difference is, as you can see, even until the 1.8 liter V-Spec, it does not get full LCD meter like you would in the Corolla sedan. Instead, you get the rev meter cluster right here. This is your speedometer and a 4.2 inch multi-information display, which is controlled via these buttons right here. And does have Bluetooth telephones. And this being a 1.8 liter G-Spec, it does not come with the adaptive cruise control, but you do get a pretty normal and simple cruise control. But in my opinion, these functions are already pretty enough for daily basis for long journey trips. And the steering wheel are wrapped in pretty nice leather. They are pretty smooth, as well as some black stitching. And like I mentioned, you get automatic headlights, but the auto high beam only offers in the 1.8 liter V-Spec. And the steering wheel in the Corolla Cross are tilt and telescopic, which are pretty nice, so you can find your ergonomic sitting and driving position. So the dashboard quality, because this being a 120 to 140,000 ringgit Malaysia car, you don't expect the dashboard to wrap in soft touch material. Instead, it's wrapped in a pretty solid hard plastic. But this part right here is wrapped in soft touch plastic, as you can see. And the infotainment display, many people complain that it looks like a 90th century TV box, but to me it's pretty functional because it's measured in 9 inch. This is the most advanced Toyota touchscreen system you can get. It does support Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and phone mirroring. So all the function you need is in here, so I have no complaints about it. Even though the design does not seem pretty modern, but it does give you an impression of it is a floating touchscreen. And right here, pretty simple aircon vents with some silver garnishing to make the interior look less dull. And these are your aircon panel, which are finished in gloss black. And it is single zone climate control instead of dual zone. So it does have automatic function. This is to control your temperature. This is to control your fan speed. You get the air conditioning, interior air circulation, different modes. Or this is to turn off the rear aircon vents. If you press this, the rear aircon vent does not get any wind blow, heat and cool. This is a different mode, front and rear defrost, and this is to turn off your air conditioning system. And this is your push start ignition. And down here you get a wireless charging, but this wireless charging is 520 ringgit optional. Even so, without the wireless charging, right here you get a rather deep storage space, but it's rather obstruct with these blank buttons right here. I think in the V-Spec they will have more USB ports right here. I'm not sure because I haven't seen the V-Spec just yet. Because the V-Spec only come up from July and August onward. For now, the 1.8 liter G-Spec are limited in 750 units or CBU from Thailand. And during end of the year, Toyota Malaysia will have a CKD model for this Toyota Corolla Cross. That also means that the price will be much more affordable. And right here you get a silver garnishing. And the glove box right here deep down in a pretty elegant manner. So you have a damper inside. This is a plus point to me because most B segment or C segment crossover does not offer with a soft opening glove box. And down here you only get one traction control off buttons and does not have any driving mode. Instead you get the manual mode. And this is the 7-speed CVT from Toyota. And does not come with a pedal shift, unfortunately. But it's totally fine because this is not an expensive car. And if you want to switch into manual mode, just push to the D, push to the right and up and down shift. And you will notice, where's the handbrake? Because this Corolla Cross does not come with a manual handbrake or electronic parking brake. Instead, you get a rather old school foot operated brake. To me, it's totally fine to offering the foot operating brake. And the benefit of offering a foot operated handbrake is you can maximize this space right here by putting 2 more cup holders to maximize the practicality inside the Corolla Cross. And here's the center armrest of the Toyota Corolla Cross, and it can slide forward and back And when you open it, it reveals a 12-volt socket. And one thing more ergonomic is they actually make a hole right here to let the cable run through. So when you close this center armrest right here, it won't obstruct the cables inside. So good job, Toyota. And as you notice, the headliner are finished in black, so it gives you a more sportier feel. And right here you get your dimming light, and the front dash cam are standard across the range, and the rear dash cam I suppose is optional accessories. And I think dash cam should be standard in all cars because as a safety and some evidence when you run into an accident. And right here you get sun visor together with the magnetic mirror with the light for both sides, remind you. So pretty nice in my opinion. And you get a retractable grip handle. So overall the interior quality I must say is pretty solid for this price range. And the grip handle right here are finished in a pretty hard touch plastic, but they are pretty chunky and solid and are finished in this silver garnishing. So now let's move into the rear seats. Let me adjust the seat position just yet. As you can see the visibility, thanks to the rather slim A-pillar, you get a better visibility through the outside as compared to the Corolla sedan. So now let's move into the rear seats. So as for the rear seats, the seat back right here gets 2-level adjustment. This is the most upright position. This is the most upright position. And if you want more comfortable sitting position, you can just push it backward to a more slanted position. So now let's get inside the car. Close the door. Pretty solid door in my opinion. Okay, now let's start from the materials of the doors. So this part right here are wrapped in soft touch material, so Toyota does not cut costs in the rear doors. Because most other car makers, they offer the front door with a soft touch material, but for the rear are all hard plastic. But this part right here is wrapped in soft touch. This part right here is wrapped in pretty plush leather in my opinion. And a grip handle right here to store stuff, and surprisingly a cup holder right here. And the window for the rear passenger are also fully automatic in both directions. And now the front has been adjusted to my sitting position. I'm 170 cm like that. I get a rather spacious leg room. The headroom I get about this much. And the seat bench right here is full length, so this also means that you get a more comfortable sitting position. And the seats right here are wrapped in leather. And you get a center armrest right here. And you get 2 cup holders. And it's pretty comfortable sitting at the rear. And compared to the Toyota CHR, which has a taller rear window, and now right here as you can see the window of the Toyota Corolla Cross is pretty wide, so that you will feel less claustrophobic when you are sitting at the rear compared to the Toyota CHR. I appreciate this. And right here you get aircon vents, which to me this is a plus point for Malaysia, because we know that Malaysia have a pretty hot weather, so by offering a rear aircon vents means that the rear passenger gets to enjoy a cool air. But you only can adjust the fan speed instead of the temperature. And down here, this being a base model 1.8 liter G, you still get 2 USB ports at the rear to charge your device. And the seat pockets is only offered for the passenger side instead of the driver's side. So I think it's totally fine, not a problem for me. And you get 3 individual headlamps. And you get a middle passenger seat belt, which is mounted at the seat instead on the roof, because most of the crossover they will mounted their middle passenger seat belt on the roof. But for the Corolla Cross, they mounted the seat belt at the leather seats right here, so that when you fold down the rear seats, the seat belt does not obstruct the folding function. And you get 2 isofix points at the outer 2 seats. And the rear seat of the Toyota Corolla Cross are full 60/40 split. Now let's check out the boot. So here's the boot of the Toyota Corolla Cross. pretty generous size, and it is bigger than the Honda HR-V by 440 liters instead of HR-V, which only has a 437 liter of boot space. And another thing I think the Corolla Cross is worth is, as you can see, for a BC segment crossover, you get a pretty solid tonneau cover which can remove. I appreciate this tonneau cover, but when you detach this tonneau cover, it does not have any space to store it. So I hope Toyota will make a space right here to let you store the tonneau cover when you want to load taller and longer objects. As you can see, the seat foldings right here are not flat. As you can see, you get a rather big step, so it may a bit struggle when you want to load longer items. But nonetheless, it's a pretty usable boot in my opinion. And get the hook points right here, a dimming light as well as a built-in hook, so you can hook your double stuff. And down here, you get the tire repair kit as well as the space saver spare tire. Other than that, at the side you get more space to store your tools and some small items. And for me, the boot practicality of the Toyota Corolla Cross is excellent. So to close the power boot, you can either press this button or by using the kick sensor, but you need to have the key on yourself. So you press this to close it. So moving to the conclusion time, is this Toyota Corolla Cross worth getting? Well, in my opinion, if you are someone in the market looking for a BC segment crossover and you care about the practicality of the car and you have expectation for the powertrain, because this is a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated petrol engine paired to a CVT transmission, which proven to be fuel efficient as well as smoothness. And for the price you get this kind of packaging, I think it's worth getting. But for the additional 10k, you get the full spec. I recommend all of you to get the 1.8 liter V, because the 1.8 liter V just 10k additional from the 1.8 liter G, and you get a lot more stuff compared to the 1.8 liter G, which is the most importantly the Toyota safety sense. Even though this being a 1.8 liter G, the base variant, but it's already offers with 7 airbags, ABS, EBD, hill start assist, 360-degree camera, and I think it's considered a complete safety feature for the 1.8 liter G. For the 1.8 liter V, you get the additional of the Toyota safety sense with adaptive cruise control. So yeah, I think overall the Toyota Corolla Cross is definitely a worth buying car as compared to the other competitor for its price, for its packaging, for its quality. And the power are also more than enough for daily basis. And yeah, this ends my walk around video of this 2021 Toyota Corolla Cross. So if you have any comments regarding to the Toyota Corolla Cross, you can comment down and let me know what you think about the car. And be sure to subscribe, like and share my video if you like my walk around series. And I will see you in my next video. Cheers!